What up? Another edition of Chaotic Kitchen with me, Melissa Lee. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch more of these videos. Today we're making my absolute favorite soup. Hands down, obsessed. It's Italian penicillin soup. This is my take on it, including I'm going to be adding something extra, which is kale and turmeric. Also adding some lemon because these are just the flavors I tend to enjoy. Start, of course, by washing your produce. I like to just wash it all in one go with baking soda because there is so much disgusting stuff going on with our produce and our food. You gotta really do your job to clean this shit. Don't even trust it if it says triple washed. The reason I like this soup is because it has so many amazing things you need, especially when you're feeling sick. We have all been sick in this household for going on about 2 weeks, so this was definitely needed. Also nice because it's similar to chicken noodle soup, but it's a nice little variation on it. So you're going to start by peeling your carrots, and really what we're going to do is we're just going to chop these. We don't have to chop too much. We're going to make them all, of course, relatively the same in size, but the beauty of this is we're going to end up blending it. And while there is the added step of having to blend it, I find this to be really easy because you don't have to be so precise. And I know for me too, I hate a soggy vegetable. Something about the texture, okay? Your girl likes it hard. She don't like no limp veggies. But the problem is when you're making soups, a lot of times that gets really gross. So does the noodles. So I tend to enjoy blended soups. An added crunch. We're peeling our onion. We're going to use a whole onion. Now I'm doubling the recipe, so I just got a really big ass onion. You're quartering that. The carrots the same. You're going to be quartering those. And the celery, I just did big chopped pieces. I'm using here probably close to 12 cloves. Some of them are bigger, so I just counted them as 2 cloves. I love this because you're using the rind of Parmesan cheese. The rind has so much flavor, and I really like Parmesan cheese because it's got a lot of protein in it. And you know me, I love my Mexican bouillon, so we're using that instead of chicken stock, a couple of bay leaves, and then of course, because I added turmeric, we're adding pepper to this recipe. It's very important because you need the black pepper to absorb turmeric, and it's also, if you were using, let's say, turmeric pods, you would want to use a coconut oil because that helps open up the pod. This needs a ton of Parmesan cheese because what you're going to do is you're going to mix it into the egg that you'll see in a little bit, and that egg and Parmesan mixture is going to mix into the noodles. It gives it a creamy texture and like binds the noodles sort of together, but not totally, and just the flavor on it is amazing. Now, something I did that's a little bit different in this recipe is that I added lemon to my mixture. But again, you don't have to do that. So after the water starts boiling, you're going to cover it, let that cook for about 10 minutes until the veggies get all soft on a very low boil, like almost a simmer. And as you can see here, I have added the Parmesan to my egg mixture, and I used the zest of an entire lemon added into that. We're also adding butter into the mixture that we're going to be putting on the noodles that we're going to be cooking, and it calls for a bit of butter. And I'm like Paula Deen, okay, give me all the goddamn butter. I will cut other areas of fat if I need to, because something about a nice quality butter mixed in with your food. Here I am, I've added a lot of salt. You want to salt the water like it's the ocean for noodles, because then you don't have to use so much salt in your actual recipe. Here I am removing the kale from the spine, because it's very important to help with some of that sourness, since we're not going to be massaging these noodles as it's going in the soup. So normally you could just cook this all in, but I wanted some of the soup without the kale. So what I'm going to be doing is just adding individual small pieces to each bowl and letting it cook. Because again, you want it to be cooked so it's a little bit wilted, but it's not so soggy that it's just feeling goopy. So I like just adding this in with the already warm soup and just letting it cook in the bowl while the soup cools down enough for you to be able to eat it. So like I said, you're going to be breaking this up into little pieces, and I'm going to be reserving that to add into some of the soup. This is also great too, because people like kale, you can add it. People who don't, you can just remove it, or you can blend it if people don't want to deal with it. So like I said, adding this amazing zest. I love zesting. So good. I just love lemon. I want to live with lemon. I want to be a lemon. I always want to taste lemon. I like things sour because I want to feel alive. It's a little bit of joy in my life, okay? As always, I like to reserve pasta water. A lot of the recipes don't call for that, but I'm going to be adding that into the butter, egg, Parmesan mixture, so that way it really binds to the noodles. By the way, I'm never going to use this fucking strainer again for any small type noodle because it got stuck in all the little corners and it was such a fucking bitch to Get all that out. Anyways, you're going to be adding this mixture in little bits and stirring it. And I want to make sure the egg is cooking nicely, so I'm keeping it over the stove. No heat on it, but it is still warm from cooking it, as is the pot. So like I said, you're going to be doing this in little bits. And I went these noodles because they're so good. It's almost like a boba texture. Just a little bit more, talk a little bit more tense, not tense. Oh my God, firm. Jesus, Joseph and Mary. Anyways, I'm taking out the fucking bay leaves because obviously you don't want to eat those. And taking out the rind because that's pretty rough, but we are going to be blending the rind. Taking all the ingredients, you're going to be blending it in the blender. And probably should get an immersion blender, but honestly, why? I love a kitchen gadget, but I gotta pick and choose the space that we have in this kitchen because there's a lot of stuff in this kitchen. It's a nice kitchen with a ton of stuff, so we want to save some room. You really don't need it. It's just gonna probably be a little bit more messy when you're doing it this way. You're gonna fully blend it. I like to do around, 35 to 50 seconds. And look at this. It's almost foamy. It's a very thick, rich texture when you blend everything together. Just makes it amazing. And of course, as always, I had some spills. I was losing my dang mind making this custom the whole time. Anyways, you're going to assemble your bowl, and I noticed this water is very thick. So I ended up adding more water and more bouillon. Make sure you taste it. Assemble the bowl, always with the Trader Joe's Chili Onion Crunch. Absolutely delicious. 10 out of 10. Fucking amazing. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share with the homies. Bye.